Well, welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joined today from the finance department, your director of the finance department, Misty Dodge. Double name on the department, but Misty Dodge is just Misty Dodge.
That's fair.
You're like, whatever.
Jeremy.
Hi, Jeremy. We're talking property taxes. We're talking about the insert and or your FAQ sheet, if you will, of everything you need to know about the property taxes. There's a separate interview that we did that goes through the property tax bill itself. You should check that out if you want to learn how that works. But these might be some of the questions surrounding just the property taxes in general. And Misty, I love this sheet. It's like the cheat sheet for me to know how my property. A lot of people ask me about the property taxes for whatever reason, and I'm always like, you should check out this cool sheet because that's where I refer to. Fast facts. There's some nice facts there right off to the side here before we dive into this thing, and that kind of takes a look at 2021.
Yeah, I like this part because especially if you are like me and you like to see how things change, we do have kind of that comparison, and you can see how our total value has changed over time, our number of properties, the assessed value, the tax rate changes. There's just some really great kind of key statistics, I think, on that side that I think are fun to look at.
Absolutely. So if you are interested in that, you can stop by and ask Misty Dodge about that. Let's go into some of the questions here. First off, how can I pay my taxes? It's an interesting question, but there's several different things that are happening here. A lot of people do escrow. So how does that work?
Yeah, a lot of people do escrow. So if you are going to mail in your escrow check, just make sure that you pay attention to who that escrow check is made out to. So if it's made out to the city of Fitchburg and the property owner, we're going to need to make sure that you endorse the back of it so that the city of Fitchburg can actually cash it. If it's made out to the city of Fitchburg or the property owner, then your endorsement is not required. But if that word "and" is there, please make sure that you endorse it. Otherwise, we do have to send it back to you or give you a call and have you come in to sign that over.
I was going to say, do some people actually get it sent directly to you, right? Did the financial institute send them directly to you?
Some of them do, yep. And in those situations, it's always city of Fitchburg or just the city of Fitchburg. But if you get the check directly and are remitting it over to us, make sure you watch for that.
Fantastic. Sorry to interrupt you on that one. All right. Checks itself. What does the information needs to be on there?
Yeah, so if you send a personal check or business check or a check other than an escrow check, make sure that it does get to us by the due date, January 31st. And also don't include other payments on that check. So for example, a pet license, you want to make sure your property taxes are in a separate check than your pet license, because those are two different systems that we have to ring those up in. And then if a check does bounce, we will reach out to you, and then there is a $25 NSF fee associated with it. One other thing I'd like to point out is if you are near that January 31st deadline, so we collect here at the city payments only through January 31st. Any payments after that would go to the county instead.
All right, and we'll look at that information here a little bit lower. Cash, one big thing here. Don't put it in the Dropbox.
Yes, and I would also encourage you not to put it in the mail. So if you want to pay by cash, bring that over to the city. We will count it, make sure that we all agree on what the dollar amount is and that it gets applied appropriately. But with cash, because it is so easy to transfer, it's best not to put that in the Dropbox or in the mail.
And next one, online payment. A lot of people use online payment for other things. Might want to reconsider before using this option. Just know about the fees here.
Right. So if you do an online payment through your bank, that works for us. Make sure that you include though the bill number from the top right corner of your bill, and keep in mind that that number changes. So if you set up the payment through your bank last year and you want to do it again this year, make sure you go into the details to change that bill number so that we can make sure that we apply it appropriately. If you want to make a payment through a credit card through the city, you can also do it that way. We do have a fee for that, a convenience fee. So it's 2.75% for credit cards, or if it's e-check, it's $1.10. So it is an online payment that you can do. You will get a receipt right away to acknowledge that that payment was made. However, that system turns off 3 days before the due date because all of the payments have to be in our bank account by the 31st. And it takes 3 days before, or from the time when you submit that online credit card or ACH payment to when we actually get the money from the company. So we turn that off 3 days before the due date. So if you're close to that due date, not the best option for you.
And yeah, of course, we'll let you know if you can't make the payment that way because of that being close, certainly. All right, then moving right down the line here to where do I pay my taxes? And we've got some options for you.
Absolutely. So by mail is what most of our property owners will do. So City of Fitchburg's address is available there. Again, please don't do cash. And it's also really helpful if you include the stub from the bottom of your tax bill, so we can make sure we apply it in the right way. There's also a Dropbox available. So if you want to make payment outside of our normal business hours, whether it's a weekend, it's just different times of the day or a holiday, the Dropbox is available 24/7. So it's when you come into City Hall, there's that foyer area towards the second set of doors to the right, where there's that bank of cabinets. There's a property tax and a utility bill payment drop-off section there. So you could always drop your check in there. We will get it the next day and we'll receipt it. Again, another place not to do cash though.
Yeah, absolutely. But you could do cash if you were in person. And this year we're at a new location. If you are coming in person, tell us where they're going to be going down to.
Yeah, so we are still in a separate room, but it's a different separate room from last time. So if you come into City Hall, you walk straight down that hallway, and it'll be on the left. Most of the way down the hallway, we'll have lots of signs available to direct people. A couple of things here is we would like only 2 households in the room at a time to try to help separate people out with COVID. We are not requiring or have available appointments. So it is first come, first serve, and we'll have the line of people down the hallway. Ask that people wear masks as required by Dane County Public Health at this point, and keep that distance too. Another thing to note is our office hours are 7:30 to 4:30, Monday through Friday. We will be closed for some holidays. So for the Christmas holiday, Thursday and Friday, the 23rd and the 24th will be closed all day. Dropbox and mail still available. And then for the New Year's Eve holiday, because of how the calendar hit, we will be closed half a day on Thursday the 30th, and that's all of City Hall. Everything except tax collection will be closed on Friday, December 31st too. We recognize that a lot of people like to pay by December 31st, so we will be open, but just for tax collection until noon that day. So from 7:30 to noon on the 31st, just for tax payments, we will be available. If you want to pay outside of that time, again, the mail or the Dropbox would be great options. And then we're also closed for Martin Luther King Jr. Day on the 17th.
Fantastic. That's the 4th door, by the way, Misty, because you walk right by Fact TV. So we always tell people 3rd door for Fact TV. This is 4th door for our conference room where you can find it. But the signage will be there. And again, it's in City Hall this year, not the community center side. So keep that in mind when you're coming in to make that payment. And then again, we do offer the online, but Misty, again, another warning here. There are some fees associated with it, and pending, again, the type of online payment you're picking.
Yep, so it's 2.75% for credit cards, but it's only $1.10 for e-checks.
All right, fantastic. Let's move on down the form here. And now we're getting into Misty's favorite part, because we're talking how this all worked out. So what makes up the tax bill? And I think this is still surprising to some, because you might not know. You're thinking the city's raising property, or taxes are going up, and it's like the city's taking taxes up. Well, not necessarily.
Yeah, so it's important to know that even though the city collects the property taxes through January 31st, not all of that money that we collect actually goes to fund the City of Fitchburg operations. And this chart, this pie graph, is really nice because it shows the different components. So we collect for the school district, whether you're in the Madison, Verona, or Oregon school district, more or less half of your bill goes to the school. We also collect for Madison College. That's where 4% of the bill goes. The county is about 13%. And the piece of it that actually stays with the City of Fitchburg to fund our 2022 budget is 36% this year. And I like to say it's about a third.
Gotcha. All right. Moving down then from there, when are my taxes due? So again, breaking up the fact that you have a certain amount of point where you take it to the city, and then it goes to the county after that. Break it down.
Yeah, so you can pay your bill at any point, really. The first installment, which is roughly half, is due January 31st. You're also welcome to pay it in full if you would prefer, or any amount in between. The city collects all of the tax payments through January 31st, and then after that day, it goes to the county instead.
All right, moving on to change of address or name on the tax bill.
So the city of Fitchburg can change the billing address for your property, where you want your tax bill to go, but we cannot change names. So if you want to do that, you instead need to work through Dane County's Register of Deeds to get that done.
Yeah, and that information, besides right here on this insert, is on our website too, so you can find that out. All right, going back up here, Miss, you have control of the sheet. I don't have control, so I get to just sit here and talk. How can I get the receipt for my payment?
So there are two options here. One is you could include a self-addressed stamped envelope with your mailed-in payment. I guess there's a third option. If you come and pay in person, we can provide you a paper receipt at that time. Another option so there's four options. The third option is if you do an online payment through PSN, you would get your receipt right away. And then that fourth option would be all of the receipts are available on Access Dane after settlement is complete with all of those overlying jurisdictions. So everything we collect through the end of the calendar year, all of those receipts will be posted to Access Dane in the middle of January. And everything that the city collects through January 31st, those receipts will be posted to Access Dane in the middle of February. So plenty of time to get that still for your income tax purposes, and they are all available. Access Dane also has your bill. So if you don't get your bill in the mail or you want a duplicate copy, you can get that off of Access Dane, as well as these receipts. And you can search Access Dane both by your name, your address, or your key number.
Whew, it's a lot of information right there, but we got to keep going. We've got the pet licenses. Is that tied to anything that has to do with our tax collection?
It is not. It's actually a completely separate process. But a lot of people, because it is calendar year and they're coming in to pay their property taxes anyways, they will pay their pet license at the same time. But it is handled by a different department and a different software. So if you are making payment or receiving a pet license, make sure it's on a separate check so that you can do that business with the city clerk, as opposed to the tax bill, which goes through the finance department. And you do have to have the proof of rabies vaccination and other items in order to do your license. Some information is available here. Obviously, a lot more information available on the clerk's website.
FitchburgWI.gov for that. Finally, the lottery tax at the top here, super important. Tell us about this one.
So the lottery credit is a credit that is not automatic. So if you lived in your property, either you or a previous owner lived in their property as a primary residence as of January 1st, 2021, you're going to want to check your bill and make sure that that lottery credit is on there. It's about $300 that you may miss out on if you're not paying attention, because it's not automatic. In order to get it, you have to fill out a form basically certifying that it was your primary residence. So anybody that built a new house in the last couple of years in particular, or if you bought a house, please make sure you check your bill and make sure that it's on there. Generally, once it's on there, it will stay for a period of time, but it's always good to double check. And then the county and the state does go through a process to verify those every so often. But please make sure that you watch for that. If you believe you're eligible and don't have it on there, there's a form that has to get filled out. It's available on both our website and the Department of Revenue's website. You can either give us a call, we can talk you through it. We can have a form available for you if you want to come in and do that. It's a very simple form. I want to make sure you get your $300 if you're eligible.
Fantastic. Last piece that you may see on the bill at the bottom there is the trash pickup surcharge. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, so in the bottom right corner of the property tax bill is a box that shows all of the special assessments and the special charges. One of the most common special charges is that trash pickup. And this covers not just the refuse, but it also covers recycling and brush pickup. So that charge for this coming year for 2022 is $215, and you'll pay that as a part of your property tax bill. It did go up a little bit. Last year was $209, so it was a $6 increase for that service. And I'd also like to point out, if I may, there's this section here, the green box at the bottom of the insert. There's a lot of different places to get information. City of Fitchburg obviously is here to help with any questions or information you need. Dane County is important for if you want to change your name or if you have a payment after January 31st. But the other thing that I really like is this bottom right corner. So the Wisconsin Department of Revenue has a publication called the Guide for Property Owners, and we included that link here. There is a lot of information in that guide. It goes through the assessment process, it goes through the tax process, the calculation, the collection. If you want to appeal your assessment, there's a lot of really great information in there, and can be a great resource for people that want to know more or want to get some questions answered.
And that's why we do this segment each and every year, because we want you to know what's going on with the tax bill and making sure that those questions are answered. And guess what? If you still have more questions, you can check out our website. You can your contact information, Misty, for your department is on our website at fitchburgwi.gov. And certainly when you come in, you can ask questions as well. And hopefully we can find the answer for you, correct?
Absolutely. Feel free to reach out.
All right. Well, we've got it. We've done it. We'll see you next year. Thank you so much for your help, Misty, and good luck through the tax season. And we'll check back in with you real soon.
Thank you, Jeremy.
You bet. We'll take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.